Ever felt like you needed a complete life overhaul? That maybe, just maybe, you're a bit lost or even fundamentally broken and needing, a serious fix?
Yeah, it's a really common feeling, isn't it?
It is. But what if that feeling is actually, well, a profound misunderstanding of where you stand? Our sources for this deep dive focus on this compelling YouTube video from SimoneSquared. It's called I Can Fix Your Life in 14 Minutes.
Quite the title.
Right. So our mission today is to dive deep into her surprisingly direct and honestly incredibly comforting perspective on these very human feelings. We're going to try and extract the most practical, perspective-shifting nuggets from her advice on well-being, personal growth, really offer you a kind of shortcut to a fresh outlook.
And what's immediately striking here, I think, is how the creator challenges the very premise of fixing yourself. It's almost like a preemptive strike against those overwhelming messages we often get from, the self-help world. So we'll explore what it truly means to navigate life's inevitable challenges, to feel off-kilter or uncertain without ever having to internalize that belief that you are, in fact, broken.
Okay, let's unpack this right away because it's the core assertion that really hits home. No one is broken.
Right.
The creator really drives this point. She argues that if you're not where you want to be in life, it doesn't automatically mean your life needs fixing in some grand, fundamental way. It's a powerful distinction. But, well, for many people, separating the situation from the self can be incredibly hard. Where do you think this idea really resonates or maybe gets misunderstood?
That's a fantastic entry point. It immediately makes me think about the language we use and just how powerful it is, broken. It implies an inherent defect, right? Something fundamentally wrong with you.
Exactly.
And the creator isn't saying challenges don't exist, but rather that your state of being isn't flawed. It reorients the problem from who I am to what I'm doing or where I am.
That makes sense.
And this reframing is so powerful because it immediately disarms that sense of inherent flaw. If you feel broken, maybe the first tangible step to internalize that you're not is, well, recognizing the external pressure or challenging an old internal script telling you you're inadequate.
That's a great point because knowing you're not broken intellectually is one thing, but
Sure.
feeling it, that's another ballgame.
Totally.
The creator seems to suggest it's about relabeling your perceived defects as situations. So instead of like, I'm bad at budgeting, it becomes, I'm currently in a situation where I need to improve my budgeting skills.
Precisely. It's subtle, but it shifts the locus of control entirely.
Yeah.
And a huge part of those feelings of inadequacy comes from what she calls the comparison trap.
Oh, yes. She shared a super relatable anecdote about getting DMs, right? People
Yeah.
asking, Simone, why am I the same age as you, yet you are traveling the world and I am struggling to find a job?
It's that familiar feeling, isn't it? Looking at someone else's highlight reel and feeling like you're somehow failing in your own story.
Yeah.
And the source makes it really clear why such comparisons are just inherently flawed. It emphasizes that we are all on very, very different journeys. We have different skill sets, different personalities, characteristics, entirely different pathways. Trying to measure your progress against someone else's unique trajectory is like comparing apples to, well, luxury cars, as she playfully suggests.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't make sense because the variables are completely different. Your personal story has its own unique timeline.
Exactly. And social media especially just throws fuel on that fire. It makes people feel like everyone around me is doing better than I am, that I'm just broken. The creator's lighthearted example really nails it. Why is she getting 1,000 roses and I'm only getting 500 roses? Why is she getting a Bentley and I'm just getting a Porsche?
It's funny, but it shows how easily we diminish our own accomplishments and worth the moment we start comparing. It's almost automatic sometimes.
It really is.
So the practical advice she offers is quite direct. If you absolutely must compare, okay, choose someone similar to you, same age, skill set, industry. But ultimately, she says the real solution is get off social media.
Easier said than done for most of us.
Oh, absolutely. But I think the spirit of it is about being mindful of your consumption. It's not just about a digital detox. It's about curating your feed, maybe, and recognizing that what you see online is often a performance, not the full reality.
Right, it's curated. So if we step back from the comparison trap and remember our path is unique, what does that mean for how we actually perceive our own lives? This brings us to what the creator calls her mirror principle, which is a fascinating idea about how our internal thoughts get reflected back at us.
Yeah, she uses a really memorable example to illustrate this. The yellow cars thing.
Ah, yes.
Before being asked to notice them, you likely didn't pay any attention.
Ah,
But once you focus on them, suddenly you start seeing yellow cars everywhere.
it's so true.
And this isn't just a quirky observation. It's a classic example of what psychologists call the reticular activating system at work, basically. Our brain filtering for what we've told it is important. It perfectly demonstrates how our internal focus shapes our external reality. She's tapping into that powerful cognitive mechanism.
And she takes this principle directly to self-perception, which is where it gets really impactful, I think. Like if you walk around thinking you're ugly, you'll interpret every glance from others as confirming that belief. But if you think you're pretty, you'll see admiration. It's not necessarily that the external reality changes, but our internal lens. It filters and interprets everything we see. It's a powerful reminder that our internal narrative dictates so much of our perceived external reality.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it highlights how consciously applying this principle empowers us. By choosing what we focus on, our strengths, our progress, positive qualities, we can actively shift our internal experience and, in turn, how we perceive and interact with the world.
So taking agency over your perception.
Essentially, yeah. Kind of like programming your brain to see what you want to manifest.
Okay, so if our focus shapes our reality, how do we actually direct that focus towards action and achieving what we want? That leads us to the practical application of focusing on the present. The creator acknowledges the value of long-term goals, but crucially asks, what am I doing right now which is going to move me towards those long-term goals?
Right, breaking it down.
Yeah, breaking down the big picture into actionable, immediate steps.
And she elaborates on this strategy,
Yeah.
breaking down what she calls radically big goals into little steps. It's interesting because she admits to not having many explicit goals herself. She notes that many aspirations often flow naturally from an initial monetary goal.
Ah, the monetary goal. Explain that a bit more. It acts as an enabler, right?
Exactly.
So instead of just saying, I want to buy a house, you might aim to make X amount of money. That specific target makes the path clearer because the money is what enables you to buy the house or take the holiday or whatever it is.
Yeah, it moves it from a vague desire to something more tangible, a concrete, measurable step.
It's a more concrete action plan.
And what's fascinating here is her bridge analogy for goal setting.
The bridge.
Yeah, she suggests identifying a primary goal, like for her, becoming a successful content creator that naturally builds a bridge to other aspirations, like giving a TEDx speech or publishing a book. The idea is to find that foundational goal that creates opportunities and makes other seemingly distant aspirations more accessible, almost like a ripple effect.
So it's not just linear, like one goal then the next.
No, it's choosing one that propels many forward. Identify that key domino that, when tipped, sets off a chain reaction toward your other desires. Makes the whole thing feel less overwhelming.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's pivot a bit to the fundamental pillars of well-being, because the creator places a huge emphasis on sleep.
Oh, yeah.
She says, and I quote, if you're like depressed, blah, 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 there's a huge chance you're not sleeping well.
Hey, yeah, her conversational stuff.
Right, but the underlying message is crucial. Poor sleep isn't just about feeling tired. It can profoundly impact your mood and mental state.
Absolutely. And she details the broad negative impacts, highlighting it's not just about feeling tired. The source lists memory issues, looking and feeling bad, symptoms that can mimic ADHD, cognitive decline, even mental instability. It's a powerful reminder that sleep isn't a luxury.
No, it's foundational.
It really is. Neglecting it truly messes with your entire system.
She also stresses the importance of physical movement, and she shares this very personal, relatable anecdote about herself, admitting to being a hermit who could easily rot all day long in bed.
Huh. I think many of us can relate to that.
Totally. She even jokes about her Taurus in my chart tendencies, that innate resistance to moving, but she forces herself to go outside and exercise, knowing that if she doesn't, she'll face cognitive and mental decline. I have to admit, I feel that rot all-day energy some mornings. It's such a universal struggle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why are these basic things so hard sometimes?
Well, it's often the immediate gratification trap, isn't it? The benefits of sleep and exercise are usually long-term, cumulative, well, the effort is right now. Our brains are kind of wired for efficiency, so rotting in bed feels easier in the moment.
True.
But these basic practices, good sleep, movement, they're crucial for overall stability. Not just nice-to-haves, they're foundational for a healthy mind and body. She really underscores their non-negotiable importance.
Then there's your philosophy of just chill out. and trusting that everything works out. She emphasizes you don't necessarily need to know your ultimate destination because, well, it'll probably change anyway.
Like her move to Dubai.
Exactly. Her own unexpected move to Dubai is the example. She uses something she never saw coming, but it just happened.
This brings up an important question about the pitfalls of maybe too much planning.
Right.
Now, just chill out sounds wonderfully liberating, but it's important to distinguish it from just being passive, I think. Her Dubai example implies a readiness to seize opportunities, not just doing nothing.
Okay, good point.
She illustrates this with her Europe trip experience. A rigid plan led to a bad time because there was no room for spontaneity, the unexpected magic of travel.
Right.
In contrast, a later trip with no plans was best time ever and transformative, precisely because she allowed things to happen. It highlights the value of flexibility, being open to unforeseen opportunities. Sometimes the best path just emerges as you walk it.
That requires a certain level of trust, doesn't it?
Definitely. Trust in yourself, trust in the process.
Okay, let's address something maybe a bit more confronting that the creator observes. The resistance to personal responsibility.
Oh, yes.
She discusses this trend of people saying, but what if this situation? And her direct counter is 9 times out of 10, it's your fault.
Oof. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow.
It is, but she doesn't shy away from it.
And she explores the reasons behind this evasion, noting it's often to put it onto someone else so they don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's an understandable human impulse, sure, a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
But it's also a trap, because if you externalize the problem, you also externalize your power to solve it.
So taking responsibility isn't about self-blame.
No, not at all. It's about reclaiming agency, seeing where you have influence.
Then she shifts to the practice of gratitude.
Yeah.
And her definition of rich is really powerful. Having a bed, a roof, food, alive parents or siblings, access to education.
Yeah, it strips away all the consumerism and gets down to the core elements of a privileged existence that, frankly, many of us take for granted.
So true.
She emphasizes that we get caught up in these problems and forget gratitude. She highlights that most problems are not that big of a deal and are solvable, framing problem solving as just part of becoming an adult.
Right, dealing with stuff.
And a really profound insight she shares is that sometimes it actually takes losing something for us to realize what we had in the first place.
What?
That really sticks with you.
Yeah.
A powerful reminder to appreciate what's present before it's gone.
Moving on to conquering procrastination. The creator identifies 2 main reasons people avoid action. First, fear of the truth. She gives that very personal example of delaying a meeting with her lawyer. Avoiding confirming she couldn't live in Paris, she preferred to live in the dream of it, even though deep down she knew the reality.
That painful clarity we sometimes avoid.
Yeah. The second reason is perfectionism and the fear of failure. The creator points out how waiting for everything to be perfect often prevents any action at all.
And she underscores this message. Failure is normal. She advises, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Or maybe it was 4 and 7. Anyway, stand up 8.
Yeah, the sentiment is clear.
Getting comfortable with failure is presented as crucial for success. Not as a setback, but as integral to the learning process. It's about building resilience.
And this connects right back to her earlier advice on breaking down goals, doesn't it? When you see the path in smaller, manageable steps, it feels less intimidating. Potential setbacks or failures feel less catastrophic.
Exactly. It allows you to experiment, learn, iterate without that paralyzing fear of a single monumental failure.
Okay, finally, the creator offers this truly comforting message that kind of ties it all together. No one has it figured out.
Such a relief to hear sometimes.
It really is. She emphasizes that everyone is just as lost at times, and it's simply a phase we navigate, not a permanent state of being.
And she offers this compassionate perspective. This is your first time in the world.
I love that line.
Me too. It's an encouragement to be easier on yourself as you navigate these uncertain waters. Yeah. To extend the same patience and understanding to yourself that you might offer a friend.
And she really tackles our tendency to judge others or assume we know their reality. She shares those striking anecdotes about billionaires.
Right, the ones that completely shatter perceptions.
Yeah, like the grandparents who are billionaires but still worry about leaving the air conditioner on because they grew up poor.
Or the 11-figure family setting a strict $75 budget per person for family dinners.
Crazy, right?
So what do these examples really tell us about our perceptions of success and happiness?
That they're often totally wrong.
Pretty much. They show us our assumptions about others' lives are often deeply flawed. These anecdotes and her own experience of people having a different perception of her life, they profoundly challenge our assumptions. They remind us external appearances rarely tell the full story. True contentment often has little to do with wealth or status. It's a powerful call to stop projecting our ideas of having it all onto others.
And she concludes this entire exploration with her empowering motto. Maybe a little NSFW, but F it, we ball, we got a problem, we move.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a defiant, active stance, isn't it? Against inertia and self-pity. An embrace of resilience and just moving forward.
What an illuminating deep dive into the not-so-broken you. We've gone from, discarding the idea of being broken, sidestepping the comparison trap,
To embracing the mirror principle, setting smart goals,
prioritizing foundational well-being, taking personal responsibility.
and moving past procrastination with a healthy dose of self-compassion.
Yeah, quite the journey in itself.
Indeed. And it leaves us with a truly provocative thought to consider, maybe for you listening. What if fixing your life isn't about reaching some static, perfect state? What if it's actually about cultivating the resilience, the flexibility, the self-awareness to continuously adapt and grow, knowing that the journey itself, with all its inevitable detours and challenges, is the true destination?
That's a powerful and honestly quite liberating way to look at it. We hope this deep dive encourages you to reflect on which of these nuggets resonates most with your life right now, and perhaps inspires you to take just one small, actionable step forward, embracing your not-so-broken self.